Hi everyone, it's Darren here from What's My Limit. We're going to just make this video. It could run for a little while, I'm not sure. We're just going to discuss a few things that have the subjects I've been seeing coming up, and what's other things that are happening even with us as we slowly are building our business up. Is input of people around us, the questions we ask ourselves on our journeys in life, and when we hit challenges and walls and hurdles, and how we deal with them. And sometimes we don't deal with them, we just get to them and go, okay, this is hard now. And sometimes some of the hurdles that are thrown at us are thrown by other people, with, if you want to say, negative input into what you're doing. They don't seem to want you to succeed, and they always want to pull you back and hold you back. And I find that for me, when people do that, I sort of look at them and I'm like, well, I don't understand why you would try and do that, but at the same time, it doesn't get me off the tracks of where I'm headed. It actually makes my tracks stronger. I'm saying, well, I'm going to stay on this thing because I really want this, and I'm not going to allow anyone to come along and knock you off the rails. And it doesn't just have to be for business. It can just be with life in general. I've seen people go out to get their fitness up, and someone just comes along, oh, look at you, you're out of shape, you're a tubby, or whatever it may be, and just give it to them, and you see them, the soul just drop out of them, and they just can't do it anymore. There's, oh, what's the point? I'm trying to better myself, and this person's just coming along and whacking me down. And to be fair, people that are that nasty and horrible, I think really, when you look at it, in general, it sort of sums up the ugliness of their soul as opposed to the beauty of yours. Okay, you can go ahead without their approval, without their input being important to you. And we are, for most of us, our number one critics are ourselves. I know I'm very critical of myself. If I go to the gym most days, and I'm very critical of, oh, I don't think it's doing it, I need to work harder, and most parts of it I'm tired because I'm working really hard, and I'm still very critical of myself. No, you need to work harder, you need to work harder, you need to work harder, and it can burn you out to a point where you're then sitting there saying, well, you know what, this is actually getting me nowhere. Why should I keep doing this? Okay, and for me, sometimes it's just, we all have days where you get a bit negative in the way you're thinking, and it's, oh, this is pointless, it's not getting me anywhere, why do I keep doing this? And you sort of start to question why, you know. And I then take stock of what's around me to be positive, and I've gotten better and better at it, to just say, right, what's good around me that requires me to continue doing what I do, to be the best me, to be fit and healthy, to be a provider, and all these things that I look at and go, why do I need to do them? I've got children, I've got, a wife, I have a home, I have my own health and fitness, I have all my children that I want to watch grow into adults, and you have all these things that require me to do all those things to stay fit, to work, and to be part of everything that's going on. And trying to get work-life balance is a hard one, because as my children have been growing up, I've missed a lot of things because I've been at work, and all the time I'm telling myself I have to work because they require me to work and provide for them. They didn't ask to be born, but they're here, and I love them, and I know my children love me, and so I just say to myself, you're going to keep going regardless. You will keep going. But at the same time, knowing that I'm providing for them like that makes me feel good as well. It's my why. We all have that why. Why do I do this? Why should I do this? Okay, we all have them, and we all should have answers for them. It's when we start trying to find answers for them is when we start running into problems. And I know for the last couple of mornings I've been getting up very early to go to the gym, before work, and I wake up and I'm lying there saying, why should I get up? I could go at the end of the day, and then I think to myself, well, at the end of the day, I know after a long day of work and all this, I just want to come home and relax. And I end up having another argument at the end of the day with myself, saying, oh, why should I just want to go home, and all the rest of it. So I have made a point to try and get in there early in the day, get it done, knock out the workout, get it done, and get to work. So when I am finished, I know I've just got to go home. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. The workout's done, the job's done. All the things I wanted to achieve were achieved, and I did them straight away when they needed to be done. Some people like to work out at the end of the day. I mean, it all comes down to you and how you see it, okay, and what works best for you. And it is really a question of how much you can convince yourself. Having internal arguments, we all have them. People will say, "Oh, you're crazy if you're talking to yourself or hearing voices in your head and everything else." We all have voices in our head. We all have our arguments with ourselves. And people would say, "Not me." They do, you know. They just, I just don't want to sound like I'm losing the plot. You're not losing the plot. You're doing what your mind is intended to do. It's thinking things over. You're not just acting bang, 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 just doing whatever comes into your mind straight away because you're all in a world of hurt then. You know, you're doing what your brain is designed to do, which is to think things over. And you do think it over. You do debate with yourself. You do have arguments with yourself, especially when it's something that's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to require effort. I've got to go do this and it's going to take ages. It's going to be a hard workout today. We all have those internal arguments with ourselves. We all talk to ourselves in our head just going, let's go get it done. Get it done, get it done, get it done. That needs to be the winning sentence overall, is let's get it done. Okay, and like I said, the voices you hear of people going, you can't do it, you won't do it, and all the rest of it, you're not capable of doing it, and all the rest of it, all that sort of nasty influence coming in, you've just got to block it out. You really have to use it as fuel if you want to. A lot of negative that I get, people have been negative about the business that we're making. Oh, it's not going to work. Too many people are doing it. Oh, what a waste. You're wasting time and all the rest of it. For me, it's fuel. It goes straight into the fuel tank. It goes into the fuel tank and my accelerator goes on and I just go forward even harder. And I love that feeling, just that, I slam the accelerator down. I'm fueled by people trying to feed me negativity. Not that I want people to be negative towards me, but when they do, I use it in the opposite way that it was intended by them. If it's intended by them to bring me down, to make me feel bad, to make me stop what I'm doing and all the rest of it, it actually has the reverse effect. It makes me just want to go harder, and I put the fuel in that they're putting in and I just go even harder forward. And I'm already motivated to go forward anyway. I just want to go forward all the time. I just going gives you extra drive. It gives you more, and passion is not a problem. I've got passion for what I want to do. And what we do with the business is that, you know, we want to help young people. We want to help people who are feeling not so great about themselves, not so motivated. We want to help teams build good, coherent teams that are really good. They switch to each other and they know how to work with each other to make great outputs. You know, and it's not just teams that need that. You as an individual can be sitting there saying, well, you know what, I need something to have great output in my life, to have great input into other people's lives that are around me, i.e. your children and all the rest of it. And the greatest investment that you can make is in yourself, really. I mean, time is our investment in ourselves. We quite often don't give ourselves any time. We just give it to everyone else because everyone else is just, oh, I want time, I want your time. You said you were going to do this, you said you were going to do that. And then next thing you know, time's up and you've done very little for yourself and everyone else has had everything done for them. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with being generous and helping people out. I love to help people out as well. But there are times where time is set aside for me. We all need it. It's not selfish to want time for you. Put on some headphones, listen to some music, listen to podcasts, listen to an audio book, listen to whatever. Go for a walk, listen to nature. Have a talk with yourself if you want to. I've quite often gone for walks and had some good chats with myself about where I see things going, how I feel I'm doing, you know, with my fitness, with my mental health, with my work-life balance. And it's just a matter, like sit in front of the TV, watch your favourite TV program, no interruptions, just you. Sit there, watch it, unwind. You've got to have that time for you, where no one is allowed in your ears, going, I want. Yeah, let people manage themselves for a little bit while you manage you. And you find once you manage you better, you find a lot easier to help people with whatever it is that they want. You know, and people always do want. You know, they all want something, they all want you to help with something, and it's not wrong to ask for help, don't get me wrong. If someone comes to you and needs help, and I need help, and depending on, different levels of what that help could be. If it's I just want you to mow the lawns, well, that's one thing. But if it's I'm feeling quite tired mentally, I need some help, or bad things happening in my life, yeah, absolutely help people. But remember, when you help people that are having issues mentally or physically themselves, you take on some of that weight and luggage by helping them out, and there's nothing wrong with taking that weight off people. I think it's a good thing that if you can take that weight off people and help them get moving, but also you've got to have a way to lift that weight off yourself as well, discard that weight off of you so that you can remain mentally strong yourself. Okay, and like I said, it can be as simple as going for a walk, listening to music, watching TV, just time, hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be, just for you. And I know some people do it. They go down to, say, a river, and they just walk along the bank of the river, just walking along, listen to nature, listen to music, listen to an audiobook, whatever it may be. Others go to the gym. Some people may just sit down and look into thin air and just unwind, because that's all they need, because their whole day involves things happening around them and people going around and all the rest of it. They just need peace, quiet, and nothingness to unwind and reprogram, regenerate and reboot and go again. Self-care is a massive thing. We've got to have self-care in our lives. It's like anything. If it's cared for, it'll keep working. Your mind, your body are the same. If it's looked after and well cared for, it will produce better, it will keep going, and it will feel better about being how it is. Like, we're alive, we're in this world, we've got things to do, we all have to do things. We look after ourselves properly, we keep the self-care up. I know I've seen people who take no care of themselves, they run down and all the rest of it, but their car is in immaculate condition because they need it to keep driving, to get them to where they need to be. Well, that's lovely, that's great, fair call. I like to keep my car on the road because it gets me to where I need to keep going. But it's pointless putting a broken soul in that car to get places, because it needs to be the same as the car. It needs to be looked after, it needs to be fed goodness, it needs to be, washed away all the badness and all the rest of it, keep the goodness up. It's not much point having all well-maintained things around you if you're feeling absolutely destroyed yourself. You can spot anyway if someone is feeling really down, but they're surrounded by good things. You're like, oh, all these lovely things are lovely, but you look really down. Someone with all of this you'd think would be happy, but they've put so much investment of their time into everyone else, into getting all these good things, that they've forgotten to look after them and to make sure that they are as well looked after as their car, their boat, their home, everyone else. And looking after your car, boat, home, these are physical possessions, I know, but we look after them. Oh, it costs money. Well, money's replaceable. You can go to work and earn more money. There's only one of you, and once it runs out, that's it. And so you should treat yourself and your well-being, mental and physical, at a higher level than you do your car, your boat, and all the rest of it. Those things are useless without a good captain or a good driver. You've got to be in it to win it, as they say, with the mind and body being as well looked after as everything else. I believe very strongly that if you look after yourself, that you feel good and all the rest. I know some people will come across and say, how selfish of you. There's nothing wrong with being a little, not what I'd call selfish, but being a little bit about you. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, so this will conclude this video. I hope you got something out of it. Now, I know there's been a lot of things weighing on my mind about it. You'll find it obviously however you want it to be. So take care, and we'll see if we get a video next time. See you later.